There's been really no setbacks for Drew Brees. He's been throwing. He's been taking some first-team reps. Certainly this thing is headed in the right direction. Now, Sean Payton has said they are not going to rush Brees. They're going to make sure not to put him at risk, not going to do anything to damage long-term, because this is a team that has Super Bowl aspirations, not just to win this one game, but the fact that Brees is humming along, not having any issues with his right shoulder or his body in practice this week is at least a good sign that he could be activated officially on Saturday to play on Sunday. We're going to get more about that over the next 24 hours. Meanwhile, not as good an outlook for Matthew Stafford, the Lions starting quarterback. Didn't practice Wednesday, did not practice Thursday. Hard to imagine him practicing today, and no one wants to rule Stafford out, and they never do. He's dealing with a rib cartilage issue, extremely painful. Doesn't seem like he has a great shot to play, but one thing the Lions know is that few are tougher than Matthew Stafford, so he wants a shot, so at least he's got a shot.
Am I playing Chase Daniel in Daily Fantasy this week? We've got Top 5 Friday coming up. Great news on Drew Brees. Oh, I see your face, Ian. I can't actually see your face, but I peripherally in the monitor see those eyes and what you just did there. Love ya. Talk to you in a bit. We've got a doubleheader. That's why I'm a little loopy. I'm in a good mood. We had football yesterday. We got a double dose tomorrow right here. It all kicks off at 4:30. You're taking a look at it. Josh Allen and the Bills up against the Broncos. They're looking feisty, looking a little better on offense lately. Then Teddy Bridgewater and the Panthers against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. The playoff push is on, baby. NFL Network Saturday doubleheader. Send me your setups. Send me your living rooms. What are you going to be doing tomorrow? Start it up at 4:30 only on NFL Network. Okay, I want to talk about the nightcap specifically. Panthers going to Lambeau. They're there to take on the Packers. The Packers want the 1 seed. They want the only bye in the entire conference. They want to seal up the MVP under the national bright lights at Lambeau for their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. I got to talk to him for a bit on NFL's Instagram Live just yesterday, and I was asking him about what would be his third MVP season.
This year, there's been a perfect storm of a lot of things that have come together. Obviously, 17 playing so well and being such a dominant force on the field has helped. The emergence of Robert Tonyan, Aaron Jones, and Jamal being so consistent as well in the backfield.
Have you and Mahomes talked about the State Farm MVP race?
No, we haven't yet. But I feel like, he's young. He's in his 20s still. He's got a lot of years left to figure this thing out. Maybe let's go for the old guy this year,
Yeah.
They're already trying to phase me out of the State Farm commercials. Hey, Pat, let me have this one.
Get your money while you can, Rodgers. Get it and run. The Packers are atop the NFC. They're sitting there in the 1 seed. Aaron Rodgers was all smiles yesterday. He's been all smiles all season. A lot of that has to do with the way number 12 has played, the way that all of his, he loves that Tonyan character as well. He loves all of his receivers, his running backs, coach. It's all gravy right now up at Lambeau. Is Aaron Rodgers the front runner, in your opinion, Nate, as far as MVP is concerned?
No. And this isn't me being dismissive to what Aaron Rodgers has done. Of course, that combination with him and Devontae Adams, I don't think there's any better one. Actually, Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. But I'm glad I said that, because I look at Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes as the two guys in that race. And it's okay. This is that type of year. This is 2020. We've been up and down all around all season long. In the beginning of the season, it was Russell Wilson, and I was screaming it from the rooftops. He's going to win it. I don't see anything happening that can change my mind. And then he had a couple of dips during the season, and consistently, just playing along, was Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. So as far as front runners, instead of saying there's one, I believe there's two, and they're the best quarterbacks in the business.
Yeah, I think Rodgers is having such a good time right now, and I've never seen him openly campaign for it, but I think he wants it. I think it matters, and he is the front runner right now. He's so dialed in. He's playing incredibly. And he's also lifting the rest of these guys. So when he goes out of his way to mention 17 and Robert Tonyan and the running backs, that is him every day. I talk to folks in that Packers organization, and they say the same thing. His attitude and his energy has lifted us so high that we are so dialed in as a unit, and we are a collective force. After that Colts loss, they could have been down. He was positive. Tells Marquez Valdez-Scantling, we're going to be all right. I trust you. I'll go back to you. And he's also having fun. We mentioned the gold member stuff earlier this week. We've talked about the Mercedes Lewis celebrations. He goes on Pat McAfee's show once a week with AJ Hawk and Pat McAfee, and he's fantastic. Zach Wilson, the BYU quarterback, came out and was like, I love Aaron Rodgers' game, but I don't get my swag from him because, you know, the clothes he wears, they're not for me. Rodgers comes out and says this, and it's like a mindset. You might as well put this on my tombstone someday. True swag is owning your inner essence. It's a mindset. My essence on the field is I feel like I'm a throwback player and I'm a tough guy. What I've played through, how I wear my stuff, I'm kind of a no-nonsense, straightforward. To me, that's what swag is all about. He says it in the interview with McAfee. He's great. He's like, these guys show up with Supreme hoodies and Louis Vuitton bags around their shoulders. They think they've got swag. They've got no swag. Swag is toughness. Swag is owning it. Swag is not being afraid to be who you are. Aaron Rodgers, he is so self-aware. He is having so much fun. He is so dialed in. He's the MVP right now, and he's going to let you know about it. That's how confident he is. I'm pulling for him. I think this is a cool year for Rodgers, and I feel like it's a different version of him than we've seen in previous MVP seasons.
He says, swag is not walking around with your shoes untied. It's not about having the Louis Vuitton fanny pack right across the chest. And he actually explained that's why he's got that old chin strap that we've always wondered about, this single snap thing. He's like, I'm old-fashioned. That's how I do it. And it is cool. And he's having an old-fashioned Aaron Rodgers performance from about 10 years ago this week. But this is dead heat, guys. And this is an awesome MVP race. This is the time to talk about it. A lot of years, it's a wrap. Mahomes, Lamar, Cam Newton, Peyton Manning one of those years, Rodgers last year. It's a wrap. There's no debate. There's no segments to be made of it. I think it's a dead heat between Mahomes and Rodgers. And make no mistake, one 225-yard game by Derrick Henry, he's in it. Josh Allen wins out and lights it up. He could be in it, but it's so close right now between Mahomes and Rodgers that, like, if they're in the red zone and Rodgers hands off for a touchdown to Jones instead of throwing one to Devontae and finishes with 2 instead of 3, that could be the difference. It is a hair. And if I had to pick it now, I would pick Rodgers as well. I would pick Rodgers. I think he has a higher degree of difficulty. I think if you were to drop him in with Tyreek and Kelsey and Andy Reid and Bieniemy and that whole thing, I think he would go ballistic. And let's not forget, Patrick Mahomes has a first-round draft pick who is a running back who's been catching, who's been running, who's been a great asset for them in Edwards-Helaire. Aaron Rodgers' first-round draft pick has been in street clothes all season and does nothing to help him whatsoever. All right? He jokes, sort of, that they're trying to phase him out of those insurance commercials. Well, they're also trying to phase him out of the Packers. And guess what? He's still the best player in the world. It's a race. Mahomes could still win it, but I have to call it now. It's number 12 with the old chin strap.